Last time on Almost Heroes.
We picked up having just returned to Tin Town to find that Luther's legends all in shambles, seemingly by Luther's own hand on discovering the platinum key that Glenn had stolen to be missing. While sorting through the mess, we were approached by an inquisitive elven lady by the name of Captain Carlson, member of the Imperial Army who would be taking over for Constable Hunter while he's away. After Captain Carlson left, the party split up, with Glenn heading over to Pops to get some items identified, and Rangrim and Cosmo headed to the Iron Woman to catch up with Madge. On the way, Glenn ran into Daas, who told him about the freed Underdark refugees coming to pick up way more Daas Dogs to fill their franchise carts than Daas was able to provide, leading Daas to very cagily ask Glenn to go on a mission to procure some more Daas Dog meat in the woods to the north, without saying exactly what the meat came from. At the Iron Woman, we learned that the black ore found inside the Ebon Depths might actually be a star metal originating from another plane of existence. The group, including Madge, headed over to the Matic Tavern for a pint, where everyone had a great time, except Glenn, who came off worse after trying one of Tom's new haphazard concoctions, accidentally named Tom's Bowel. While the group chatted over what would be next in their journey, a guard from the Boulderfist mine approached them, informing them that someone named Tardan had arrived in town and was looking for us. And that is where we left off.
Thank you very much, Bobby. That brings us to episode 30, Daas's Secret. So yeah, we pick up with our Almost Heroes and Madge hanging out over at the Matic Tavern, having just been approached by a guard, informing them that someone named Tardan was looking for them. And so what would you all like to do?
Glenn would like to throw up into the sleeve of his robe after the second bowel that he was forced to drink.
Yeah, just roll me a stealth check.
Is it stealth or sleight of hand? Because I don't know if I'm
well, it's
trying
gonna
to
be
do it
stealth.
sneakily. I'm
So
just trying to make sure I catch it.
Oh yeah, so sleight of hand for sure.
Okay.
But everyone's gonna see it.
Sleight of sleeve. 15.
Sleeve of hand. Yeah, that's you do a pretty good job. You keep most of it in the sleeve. Some of it does. You feel it trickling kind of down your elbow and then like into like deeper in your sleeve, down your side a little bit.
Gross.
Gross. Very gross.
Super gross.
Ew. Yeah, so but you all very clearly saw him just do a little sleeve up chuck. So yeah, what do you all want to do?
Well, this Tardan, you say, guard, is he alone?
Yeah, my name's Tim. I have a name, but yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he's alone. It actually looks like there's like some kind of there's a couple people with him. One of them actually kind of looks like they're wearing Boulder Fist garb, but like I don't know. It's pretty. It seems like he's covered in all kinds of filth. So I'm not 100% sure, but kind of looked like the colors. But I don't know. They were asking for you, and so just figured I'd come let you know.
Right. Well, thanks you, Tim. And we'll be down. Where did you say they were?
They're honestly just inside the center of town, kind of over. Where you smushed that lady, our previous boss's head over there, kind of over in that area.
Perfect. Right, I know the spot. We'll let Tardan know we'll be with him shortly.
I guess I can wander back and tell. He's like kind of muttering as he walks away, like, God, I'm like a messenger now. Whatever. And he's like kind of mumbling as he walks away, but he seems to head back down to the middle of town.
Well,
who's Tardan?
Yeah, who the hell is Tardan?
I forget what you refer to him, Rangrim, but maybe Glenn. Well, I think Glenn's a bit predisposed at the moment, but he was an ally of ours in the Ebon Depths.
Why do I think his name was Huel?
No, well, it seems befitting, but I'm not really sure. It escapes me.
I mean, you always do have problems with names, Rangram, so it doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
That's true. I probably just said the wrong thing or read it somewhere incorrectly. But maybe we should go see what he's doing. You're all right there, Glenn.
Yeah,
He's just kind of poking
I'll
him
be okay.
in the chest a little. I imagine Glenn's head's kind of on the table, and he's just kind of poking him in the shoulder.
You got something, there's something seeping out of your sleeve there, buddy. do you have a change of clothes or something? I don't think that you're going to want to, and there's actually kind of a smell now. Oh man, it's like Rangrim. That's like when you didn't clean your room, your corner for like, I think you had been like throwing up in the corner or something. It was something.
I didn't
foul
know I
in
was
there.
supposed to. You people on the surface are weird. I didn't know that was like the thing you're supposed to do. It was out of decorum for you surface folk. I just had a corner. I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
Right. Well, Glenn, you could take a minute if you like, but I'm gonna excuse myself and head me way down to Tardin. Rangrim, you coming?
I'm gonna tag along and just keeps choking it back.
Well, Madge, we'll be right back.
No, you're good. And she palms the. Actually, I don't. Yeah, she can palm it. She's big enough. She like picks up the rest of that keg you guys ordered and goes, "I'll be back over at the Iron Woman. I'll be getting work done. Don't worry."
she'll be getting work done, all right. Come
Insight
on,
check.
big guy. And I'm like holding Glenn around the waist, like trying to keep him stable.
With mage hand, I'm holding back my own hair, so in case I need to puke.
Yeah. So as you all are kind of heading down at your slow tottering pace to make sure that Glenn can keep up with you all, as you're going down, and so you can see down into the bottom level, basically the bowels of Tin Town, and kind of on that main thoroughfare that runs through the town, right in front of the main mine that you all semi-permanently closed up. You can see that there is indeed a very similar looking cart to the one that your cart actually originally looked like, a like slaver-esque cart. Has that huge full cage in the back that is completely enclosed, unlike yours is, and still has like manacles hanging from it and is like pretty rusty. And you see three figures that are sitting in it. One is sitting in the back, and then you see two kind of sitting up towards the front, and one's actually kind of like standing up looking around.
Oh, hey there, Tardin. Well, I'm surprised to see you so soon.
Hey, yeah, yeah, we kind of got things done pretty quickly, and then we made good time over here. Yeah, hi again. You guys aren't gonna like bully me or beat me up like you were before, right?
Well, not me. That must have been somebody else.
I
Oh,
never
we
did
saved
that.
you.
We helped you, right, Glenn?
Right. I thought we saved you from the Ebon Depths from being swallowed by volcanic rock, but tomato.
So as you're getting closer, you're seeing the figure that's standing on the cart is Tardin. He's kind of like standing up, looking around, holding onto the cage. There is a person next to them that's kind of like leaned back against the cage, and they seem to be kind of like dozing a little bit. And they seem to be wearing the Boulder Fist garb, but their face is kind of like kind of pushed off to one side, and they seem to be kind of sleeping. And then you can see that there's actually another figure that's curled up in the back of the cart. And as you're getting closer, you can see that it doesn't seem like the cage is actually locked. They're just back there, and they are like curled up on the floor, like sleeping. And you recognize them as the elven friend of Tardin, who was like crazy in the cage last time you saw him. He was like throwing himself at it, and you actually let him out. He wandered across the room, and then you shoved him back into a cage because he was trying to walk in some direction.
Right.
We can do you, I guess we don't really plan to stay here very long.
I see you brought back one of our Boulder Fist finest.
Yeah, he's been kind of catching up on his beauty rest since we left, but I think here, and he starts poking him awake, and you see the kind of person wake up and turn towards you, and you recognize Greg.
Greg! And like Glenn just kind of excited seeing his random soldier friend just kind of wills himself over to him, just pats him on the shoulder to wake him up.
Yeah, so he kind of like comes to and he's like very blurry eyed. You could just see like he is beat to shit. Doesn't seem like he had a very good time, but he is, for better or worse, in one piece, at least recognizable at the very least.
Cosmo would kind of look around for like a guard or any other Boulder Fist type people around me. Like, are there any other guards?
Yeah. Actually, kind of over to by the front door, there's like one guard in the distance that's like staged by the front door of the mine, kind of like listening to see if there's any like noises from inside the those sealed doors to the main entrance of the Boulder Fist mine compound.
Oh, it's just the one guy.
Just one guy standing like pretty far in the distance. It's kind of hard to see or make out who it would be.
Oh.
I mean, you could yell at him.
I don't know if that feels really far away. Sure, we're gonna yell at this said guy.
Yeah, roll me a straight up and down. Just actually roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Great. Let's try out these new dice. Persuasion
New metal dice.
New metal dice.
It's more.
He had the death metal dice, but they kind of crumbled away after some time.
Those were Glenn's, actually. Those were Glenn's. Although I think I'm the only character to currently go unconscious, but I don't know. Right.
True.
Anyways, persuasion with advantage. Close up of the new dice. Sure. I'll give you the quick onesie of them. This is my favorite one, actually. This is the D4. Works. Okay. Focus.
I believe in it. Move it a little bit. See if you can put your other hand a little bit closer. Oh no.
It's getting worse. It was doing good pre.
It was.
Well, there it is. Split second.
Well,
They're super cool.
they are super cool. They are like
You just have to believe that it's super cool.
It's like heavy dwarven maces and axes, and like the D20 like is like a rock. Like it's huge. I'm pretty sure it weighs the same as like 5 to 10 D20s at least. Like 2 is not even close. Like anyhow, let's see how this does with the advantage. Right, here we go. Okay. Decent. So that's gonna be a 22.
22. Oh yeah. So you kind of yell across, and it kind of carries across the space, and it like echoes out the door, and you see them like kind of like wake up with a start and realize they might have been like kind of leaned back against the door, like snoozing a little bit. Apparently, everyone in this area is just asleep, and they kind of like with a little bit more pep in their step come like over, and you see as they get kind of closer, you actually see that it's Gary, and then recognizing you can see like them getting a little bit closer, and then like seeing that the person on the cart is Greg. They kind of have this like moment where they just kind of like look at each other, and then like just Greg jumps off the cart, and they just like give each other a big old hug.
Aww. And I would just say, Gary, we need to get some. I think we really need some first aid for our friend here.
He looks terrible. What happened to him? I know you guys missed that voice. You guys totally missed that voice.
Gonna follow Gary around all day.
I would love that. I'll just show you what I do on my day-to-day life.
Why don't you go get a first aid and maybe a stretcher cart of some kind? And
are you sure I could just hang out with you all day?
Nope, that's great. You dismissed.
Okay, so Gary, very not wanting to, leads Greg away, and they're just kind of like he's just kind of like leading him away, and then also just like talking to him, and you can hear his extremely just like just very wonderful voice of Gary, just kind of like going off into the distance as he's questioning Greg about what has happened to him, but leads him up into the compound. You can see kind of leading him maybe towards the Boulder Fist exclusive tavern that's kind of like up in the middle of the Boulder Fist complex.
Great.
But yeah, you can see Tardan's just kind of sitting there like, Yeah, so I don't want to hang around here very long. Do you guys have like, I have that, you guys have questions? I have that message from Udak, I guess, but
Right. Well, we was getting to you. We didn't want you to feel left out there, Tartan. How was your friend?
he's good. He's beat the all shit kind of. I think half of it was him throwing himself at that cage, but he should be all right. We found some like expired potions, and then there was this one like there's like this goop on the ground at one point he tried drinking. That didn't work very well. It stank terribly. But he seems to be like he's kind of coming to a little bit, but he's definitely like passed out right now. But yeah, no, we were out there. We didn't really do much sleeping. We kind of just Udak kind of as soon as you guys left, kind of pushed me, and we went back into the mine. Seemed like they were in kind of a hurry.
Right.
Getting into there, it was kind of a mess, but it's seems like for the most part the lava was kind of limited to like the damage was kind of limited. Seems like the lava didn't continue to like collapse and the ceiling didn't collapse throughout the complex, and it seems like the lava, though it kind of came down in some areas, kind of hardened. And so aside from that one chamber being completely like sealed off at this point, like most of the other chambers are relatively intact. It just seems like it, I wouldn't want to be in there when like a earthquake or something came off. Maybe it's like one earthquake away from coming apart, but for the time being it seems like it's relatively stable. We were able to get all the people that weren't smashed by rocks out, and oh yeah, and he kind of reaches into back behind the front seat, and he goes, "We did find this. It looks like it got pushed out into the water after your all's little excursion." And he pulls out this dark steel helmet that you all would recognize as being the one that Alton, One Eye, had been wearing during your like battle with him, the one that you had knocked off of his head. And it is like, think like Darth Vader's helmet when it's in The Force Awakens, where it's like half melted and like kind of twisted. But it's this like full helm made out of that black steel armor, the dark steel armor, with the like spiked rivets all the way around it on the top, almost like a mace. And then like the bottom of it is just like kind of twisted and mangled. But he just kind of like, Udak thought you might want it.
Oh, you found that. That was mine. I dropped it.
Oh, cool. And he just kind of like hands it off to you. But yeah, you can add one Alton helmet to your inventory.
Does it even remotely close to fit my head? Because I'm trying to put it on my head right now to really sell the it was mine.
Okay, so I'll say you put it on, and because it's kind of twisted and it's not wide enough at this point, so it kind of like sitting on your helmet, your head like a crown, but it's not coming. It's like coming down to like here. It's just kind of sitting on your head like a hat.
Well, what did you do to my helmet, Todd? Never mind. I'll fix it.
Yeah.
Right. You messaged. You mentioned a message from Udak.
Yeah, I mean, this was it. You guys were just trying to, unless you have anything else, he said you wanted to know whether or not, you were going to be able to send some people in there and, mine it or whatever. Like, I don't know. But he said that you should be good to go. You'll just need to do some structural supports and kind of reinforce it on the inside.
Right. Okay. Well, we appreciate the message. I reckon if you'd like to carry on, you can. But you're welcome to stay. Tin Town offers great hospitality if you're looking for a nice place to get some rest or whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm good. We're probably gonna just go. He told me to just like in like a friendly way slap Glenn. So I'm just gonna state that I'm not going to do it. Well,
you probably couldn't reach. I reckon that's probably in your best interest.
Well, I mean, at this point, he's pretty hammered. He's in his cups for sure. So if you're gonna do it, now's your chance.
That's right.
Glenn nods like, this might actually be your best chance to do it. And I try to persuade him.
Oh yeah, roll a persuasion check. He is standing on the cart, by the way, so he probably would be around your height.
Persuading Titan to slap you is amazing.
It's a 16.
Yeah, he only rolled a 12. So I'm going to say that he kind of like seeming like relatively nervous, kind of like like looks around and like looks at you all for approval, and then no one says anything, and you can just like Glenn, I assume you're just kind of like doing the Jack Nicholson like slow nod at him, like yes, do it. And he just kind of like very slowly and softly just goes, "Pap," on the side of your face.
And again, hungover and not fully functioning, just kind of chuckles himself. We're even, and just turns around and kind of walks away.
That went way better than I thought that was going to. Okay, well, unless you need anything else, I think me and Weston are gonna try to actually get back to our little farm and see if there's anything left of it.
Well, we'll head on out. If you ever need anything, let us know.
I won't. And then he heads out.
As he starts to leave, Glenn's gonna try to mage hand 10 gold into his pocket, just stealthily.
Oh, so apparently drunk Glenn is nice Glenn.
He's too hungover to be a dick.
Yeah, he only rolled an 8 for being able to detect that. So.
my bonus did his perception, so I think it's gonna work.
Yeah. So you slip. You said
10 gold, just 10 gold.
10 gold. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, I don't know what farmers make in this world, but I don't think that they're making, hand over fist gold. So, yeah, they head back out of town with their pretty scraggly little horse that they're pulling, and just kind of clink away in this pretty gnarly old slaver's cart with Weston slipping in the back. And they kind of just head up and head back towards the Ebon Ridge, heading south, it looks like.
Cosmo, I need to talk to you for a minute.
Go ahead.
Do you got any of that healing magic and the stuff you used before? Because I just saw Glenn put gold in Tardan's pocket. I don't think he's all right.
You really think something's wrong, eh?
He just gave him gold for no reason. He slapped him in the face, and then he gave him 10 gold. I saw
Have I ever told you guys how much I just appreciate your friendship? It's crazy how much you guys mean to me. He's just kind of mumbling off to himself.
I'm telling you, he's not himself. Remember when I was doing this thing and my eye turns black for a second and then it's not black? What if he's taken over by something and he's wicked nice?
You think the booze has made him nice?
I mean, it definitely. Light bulb goes off in Rangram's head. He's like, never mind, don't do anything.
What? I won't do anything. We're just gonna do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Is hi, Cosmo?
No, this is Cosmo trying to be discreet.
Yeah,
he's keeping a secret.
He's blinking both eyes.
He's being.
Don't worry, we got you.
I won't tell anyone. Right.
Dear diary.
I didn't tell Lynn.
Well, Cosmo kind of fades back into presence. He's like, Udak sounds like we might have given us enough of a tip to send Chesk on his way, no? Structural integrity sounds like Chesk's middle name.
Right, it sure does. Well, you seem as though you're in the best condition to come see Chesk. Would you guys like to come along? And he just
oh yeah, I'm coming for this. Yes, I will go.
Well, and he turns to Rengar and just winks.
With both eyes.
With both eyes.
Glenn slightly grins if you guys want me, I'll, I guess, just start walking with him.
Oh, you're wonderful. Come on, bud. And I'm still holding him. I just imagine I'm holding him by the waist.
Right.
Instead of holding a drunk person around the shoulder, I'm
yeah.
This really means a lot. It's so nice. You're good people.
I picture that he's kind of wobbly on the top then.
Yeah, that's exactly how I picture it.
He's one of those wavy guys.
Yeah.
He is the wavy.
Long sleeves and everything.
Right.
Oh God.
Yeah, his sleeves are not really. Don't want to be.
Shirt smells horrible.
Do not.
Just dripping out the arms.
Just waving those sleeves around.
It's not a shirt. It's a robe.
Right. Your robe.
Whatever it is, the sleeves are awful. There's vomit. He's pouring out of it. All right, come on. We gotta. You know what? We're still gonna go do the important thing, and you're coming. Oh, come on, Cosmo.
Right, let's go on our way to Chisk. And I would assume we're headed over to the barracks?
No,
Or
so
no, we would head to the office.
yes. So Chesk, as you know, like you've met him there before, but he has an office that's a little bit lower down than where Brongrin Boulderfist's office was, which I guess is essentially your office at this point, which you haven't spent any time in there. I don't think you've been in there since you found Brongrin dead, or since you tried sneaking that, or you did sneak that letter in there.
I think Glenn did that, right?
The clumsiest way humanly possible. Yes. But yes, you did do that. But anyway, yes, you head up the Boulderfist compound, just assuming that you'd find Chest in his office. And you come to the door and it is open. And you see kind of just like a form kind of leaning against, like leaning over their table with their kind of hands on it. And you just kind of see their back to you. And there's like you can see there's like a mug kind of over to the, like by their right hand, but they're kind of facing away from you, leaning against their table desk thing.
And just Cosmo would come in, seeing the door open, would just kind of bang on the door frame. And just, hey, yo, Chesk, we're back.
Hey, Chesk turns around. Oh, hey, what's going on? How was the fact finding mission? You guys were gone for a lot longer than I thought you were going to be. We're damn near out of resources.
Right, well, the Ebon Dips, they ran deep. That's all I'll say about it. But
Very deep depths.
very deep. But seems like you guys have been working hard around here.
Yeah, he's kind of like looks down at the map that you saw him kind of marking some potential locations of kind of backup resources, potentially like kind of exposed to the surface, like ore, I guess just sources of ore that they could, mine in the meantime while you were trying to find your stuff. And like most of them, almost all of them are like crossed off at this point. Like there are red X's all over this map at this point. That was at the last time you saw it, just like circled a bunch of potential. And now it's all like completely done at this point. And you can see that there is numerous stains of like that mug that you can now, as you get closer, you can definitely smell a heavy stench of like strong ale filling this chamber. And you can kind of see that there is there's been some drinking going on, and a little bit, maybe a little bit of stress drinking from Chesk.
Well, Chesk, it doesn't no shitting to the map. Doesn't seem like you guys have had much luck. I take it.
No, not really. We went up into the forest. We heard there would be potentially some resources up there, some different, hopefully different catacombs or potential like, clumpings of exposed ore to the surface. And we found some, but as is the name here, mostly just tin, which isn't super useful, but or valuable, but it's we found some enough to carry us over, but nothing that we could really sell for a lot. And a lot of the traders and people that have been coming here and relying on us have been kind of writing us off, which is not good because it's going to take some time to get new flow in here.
Right. Well, it'd be risky, but what do you say if I said there's a way to reverse that and bring a good amount of flow of gold onto the table?
I mean, that doesn't. At this point, I think risky is what we need. I don't know where you're at, but I'm kind of at the point of like, if you have everything figured out, like, can we open the mines up again?
Well, that's one risk. Kind of like looking around, like, I think, is this safe? Is it private here? Kind of looking around. Actually,
that's a good question. And he walks over and kind of pushes the door closed. And he like as he does that, he just kind of turns. He goes, this chamber, along with most of the other chambers, is actually guarded against listening from the outside, any kind of divination. So at least any that's beyond the realm of like no one's gonna be able to hear from the outside into this room. So we should be good. What's going on?
Well, and Cosmo would kind of give him a vague rundown, mostly leaving out the creating of abominations. And just I guess here I'll tell it. I'll tell it just so that we're clear. We ventured into the Ebon Depths, and we extinguished what we believe to be the creatures that were calling all of the things out of our minds. I can't be for sure, but I do believe that we could likely have extinguished it.
That's amazing news. Like that doesn't sound risky at all. Then if there's nothing that's gonna come out of there, like hell yeah, let's get it open.
Well, I'm just not sure. It went up in volcanic ash and explosion. For
the best way to get rid of things, in my opinion.
Right. Well, I just want to I can't be sure. I usually when I kill things, I squash their heads, and I know it's dead. In this case, I didn't see the head squashed.
He does like a version of the cross thing that Catholics do, but for whatever is in. I guess it would be like a star of a 7-sided star of some sort for the seven.
He does the Macarena.
Yeah, he does the Macarena, the official dance of the 70s.
Mío.
Yeah. Kind of as you talk about killing Sigrid, but
right. Well, no disrespect for Sigrid, and he does the little Macarena shimmy. I'm so trying.
You guys have to be so careful what you talk about because it becomes canon. It just the power you wield.
Right. Well, so I think that we did end it, but I don't know for sure. But there is risk number 2 in extinguishing this beast in the mines. We've came across something that I think could be worth even more gold than we were finding here. And he's just going to put the bolt of dark steel on his desk.
He kind of looks down at it and then just kind of looks back to you in puzzlement and then kind of looks at it again. He picks it up. Goes, what the hell is this?
Have you ever heard of dark steel?
I've heard of it. Holy shit. How much more of this is there?
A whole mine, I think.
He just you see his eyes just you don't see Chesk happy very often. I don't think you've ever seen him happy as far as I know. Most of your interactions with Chesk have been not good. Telling him his friend died, killing his other friend, and then destroying his mine, and now you're back here giving him this. So you see him just his face light up and just absolute just greed comes over his face, just his eyes turn into dollar signs, and his tongue comes out in a the cash register kind of thing, very cartoonish. But he's like, so you're saying that the Ebon Depths, they're clear of any problems. There's no one there, and it's full of this.
I think so, but
we're gonna be rich. This is this is gonna bring such an influx into town. This is, I mean, we're gonna be able to. It's gonna be gold town. It's gonna be dark steel town by the end of it. There's not gonna be tin town anymore. We could rebuild everything in this town. This is gonna be shit. We could have more money coming in here than Goldbreak.
Well, the risk I think with this is what big of a cut or control will the Empire seek from us?
As you say that, and that kind of sets in with Chesk, you see that his kind of his demeanor kind of darken a bit, and he's just fuck.
What?
You're right.
I think there's a way. I really do think there's a way for Tin Town, the mining company, to profit from it. But I do think that the Empire is going to want to cut or want control. I just don't know what. I don't trust the Empire much. I don't really know much about it. But it's there. So we can use it discreetly.
That's kind of what that's kind of where my head's at. Let me pitch you this. What if we, and this isn't really the best for the town, but if we were to mine using kind of a small, trustable force, and kind of just mine it discreetly, keeping it kind of under wraps, and only sell a small amount to traders we could trust, we could maybe potentially keep under wraps how much of this we have. But if the location of that mine gets out and the amount that's in there gets out, we could be, that could be, especially if it's only a small force in there, like they could get overwhelmed and slaughtered, and people are going to be hungry for this material.
But I don't. Yes. I think you're right. I think we need to be safe. First and foremost, we need to ensure that it's still there to be had. It was all over the place. The place is definitely risky at best. It was guarded and well gated. I think it will be secure to a degree. There's a big door. I think you could close yourself in, and somebody may never even notice.
Yeah, let me. I could put together a small force, like maybe no more than 6 to 8 people, and people that I trust that wouldn't go blabbing about this. We'll have to pay them a little bit more, to keep them silent. But we can find a trade route for these that will be a little bit more discreet. We're not going to be able to drive the traffic we were before, but the people that are buying this, they're not going to be your normal traders. They're going to be a little bit more higher end, and might not have to ask questions about what they're doing, using it for. But I just keep coming back to, if we did sell to the Empire, though, like, I know it's risky, but god damn, they would buy a lot of it, especially with the with their fight with the Revivifists and the conflict in the north. They need it, but it might be too risky. I don't know. That's your call. I don't want to make that one.
Well, there's a whole. I think the other side of that is that the Empire just takes total control and we get no profit. They just take it. They seize it from us. There will be no negotiating. It will be theirs. I obviously don't want to be on the wrong side of the Empire, but I'm not even sure I trust them. So putting that much power and capability in their hands is not something I'm ready to try.
Yeah, it sounds like we would find ourselves in the same shoes as Revivifists, fighting back for something that we just lost by the Empire. So I'm with you, Cosmo.
Interesting.
Make sure you're not sharing this information before we come to a decision.
What if we found someone who would just sell it to both of them, and it never came back to us?
Well,
That's interesting. I like this. I like that. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Emperor Moff can, huff the farts right out of my shorts. But
Glenn lurches a little bit. He's like,
but listen, what if? I mean, I'd have no love for the Revivifists, but I don't think they would go blabbing on us. And to be honest, worst case scenario, they buy from us, and they get a little bit stronger. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to start a civil war. We're pretty close to the conflict, and if they decide to come down here, that could break bad too if they push that much farther into Sakal.
I think maybe we can set up a middleman that covertly sells to both of them, so we're not swaying the power either way. They still fight each other, kill each other. I don't really care, but at least we're not helping anyone win. And I got just the person for that, if they're alive, I think.
That might also almost be helpful. Good job, Rangrim, and pat him on the back.
Thank you. And I'm going to use sending, and I want to try and send a message to Gert.
Okay. Yeah. What do you want to say?
Well,
Hey, Gert, are you still alive? You want to do something?
Ah! Who the hell is this?
It's me. One of the guys that found you in the hole. We
Why are
gave
you
the
talking in
knife.
my head?
It's a whole bunch of stuff. You can hear me though, right?
She's just like, you can hear her put her, I guess you can't hear it, but in another place far away from you, Gerd puts her fingers in her ears and just starts going, la, 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 la.
Gert, stop it. Stop it. I can hear you doing that.
What do you want?
Maybe we get you to sell some of the stuff. We're taking out of the mine to some people, and you get like food. We'll set you up like a nice little hut or something. And yeah, that's it. You just sell some stuff to some people. And you get to you get food. We'll give you like a nice bed, not like that hole that you were in before. And you can stab basically anyone you want, except for the people you're selling the stuff to.
You want Gerd sell things?
Yeah, basically.
How Gerd sell if she's stabbed?
Well, we'll go over the finer details at some other point. I just want to make sure that you're still alive and you're readily in the area of the Ebon Depths still.
Gerd go south? Gerd go by river.
Gerd go by river. Well, I guess we're going to have to figure that one out soon. I'm not very good with directions. Glenn, did you get all that? And he just looks at Glenn, who's like still noticeably drunk, then realizes that he's the only person that can hear Gerd.
Yeah, you know, you were just talking to yourself for like 5 minutes there, right?
I do now. Gerd, this is Glenn signing off. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, voice in my head.
also,
Well, if we can't trust the amazing Gerd, I might have some more
Guys,
connections.
I think we might have a slightly psychopathic goblin who would sell some stuff for us. I just have no idea where the fuck she is.
well,
She went by river.
She went by river, and I know we've seen 2 of them.
right. Well, what I like to do for now, what I'd like to do, Chesk, is let's send a small discreet team over there, check and see if it is still mineable. But now, we can use it for tools. We can use it for things here locally. For now, to improve our ability, so we can try and open back up the mine here in Tin Town. I don't want us selling to either the Empire, or we don't even have a contact with the Revivifists, let alone that idea. I'm not even sure I like that. Even though the enemy of my enemy is supposed to be my friend, but I'm not even sure who my enemy is yet. So
Williamson behind Cosmo. Yeah, we kind of do though.
right. Yes, but that's for another time.
Chesk, when you do go, and if you see an orc with 2 metal sword hands, and an ogre with a goblin with no legs on his back, don't immediately try to kill him. Just tell them Glenn sent you. They might not be around there, but they're not as terrifying as they look. They're generally friendly.
Glenn, I think they were headed away to the desert. I don't think they would carry on much longer once they send what
That was
Tardin.
also extremely ominous. Like you
Right.
said, an orc with sword hands. I've had nightmares. I've had drunk nightmares that aren't that terrifying. Like,
What?
are you kidding me? You think that if I ran into that we would just like not immediately attack it? Are you
What?
kidding me?
But
Think how
well,
scared
his-
he was mad at you.
his name's Udak. He was an ally. I don't think he'll be any. Actually, I'm pretty confident he will no longer be there. He was ready to leave.
For what it's worth, he was born with hands. They just were removed and repurposed into swords.
I don't know whether that's less terrifying or more terrifying.
But
Sounds to me, the more I hear about this Ebb and Depths, is I'm glad that it's been dealt with, because it seems like there was some gnarly stuff going on in there. We talked about the mutilation and everything like that was rumored. So sorry you had to deal with that.
But well, it's been extinguished. The leftovers is for our benefit. But
The victor goes the spoils, I guess.
as long as we get to keep the spoils and the Empire doesn't try to take them. So for now, let's do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm gonna put together a small team, people we can trust. Head over to the mine, take the lay of the land, do some recon in there, see what we can do and how much there is, and then I didn't even think about making like tools with this. Like that could even up our productivity. Like this all around could help us, even if we don't sell it right away. If we just use it to kind of bolster our own defenses and just help Tin Town out a little bit. I mean, I know that you work with Madge over at the Iron Woman. I'm pretty sure that she'd probably like to get her hands on some of this material. And I know Glenn, you know that little gnome over there, and he's always tinkering with metals. So I think that we can kind of discreetly sell it to some of the people here in town, and if we can trust them, and they can go to work.
Right.
That's a great point. I don't think I actually gave a piece of it to him, but I'd be afraid his little heart might explode. Brand Group, do you have an extra piece I might be able to take over to Pop, see if he can't do anything weird with it?
Hold on. Let me check. He's like shuffling around the bag, and there's like clearly 17 more like pitons on it. He goes, oh yeah, there's one right here. And he hands it to Glenn.
Glenn pockets it and just like doesn't have the energy, just kind of gives him a look like, really? Okay.
All right. Well, Chesk, make sure that there are not just miners, make sure there are guards and fighters. I don't know. I just want you to be well prepared, just in case. And if it's good, it'll be good. I promise.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Well, I know I said I'd be back, but we gotta jump north for just a moment to handle something, and I'll be back. But at this point, everything I've left has made good promise for Tin Town. Right? Any roll?
What are you doing up north?
I have an obligation that I have to care for.
Are you going up into the woods? Just like where up north? Right? Don't go too far, because that's, like I said, that's where the conflict with the Revivifist is. You don't want to be messing around with the.
Oh no! I don't even think we'll make it all the way to Whitport.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're just going into the woods north, I'm sure you know about the stairways going up the walls. Like if you just take those up, you can get right up there. That's what we've been using for kind of our mining excursions up into the forest to the north. We've kind of, you're probably going to see, we weren't super kind to the forest over there. We were looking pretty sporadically and hectically trying to find some more minerals. So forgive some of the damage to the forest up there. It'll grow back, I'm sure.
But
Wait, you damaged the forest? Was there a blue bird anywhere near you when you were doing all that?
Not, I mean, there's always birds, but we didn't see anything like
a strangely really really blue bird?
I don't think so. I can ask the guys, but I don't think there was anything we saw. I mean, it's just like right outside of town. I mean, just right on the edge of the bowl. It's that forest that's right there. So I don't know. There hasn't been anything too crazy unless you go deeper in. There's some weird stuff in there, but
right,
kind of just around in the outskirts of it.
right. I reckon leave the forest alone north of here now. I think you got plenty to work on between the Ebb and Depths and getting the mine here open again. What?
That was a cryptic threat, but okay. Let's
It's not.
Sounds
It's
good.
not a threat. Just mostly just a caution.
Thinly veiled threat.
Well, I'm not the one that would be hurting you. It's what's in the forest.
That does not make it any less of a threat. Just because you're saying something else would hurt us, that doesn't. Just because you're not saying you'll overtly hurt us, doesn't mean it's any less of a threat. Saying that if you go into an area, something will hurt you if you go there means it's still a threat.
No. You misinterpreted.
all
It's
right,
clearly
you know
a.
what? Go right into the forest, start cutting one of the trees down, and just shout, "Hey, whatever it is, you're a dickhead," and just see what happens. That's not a threat.
Well,
You're,
no.
you're a big tough guy, right?
What?
Now that I'm being
You can
told
do
to do
it.
this, I don't want to do it. I
Yeah,
want to
you're
do it
right,
on my
'cause
own.
Yeah, that's a warning. Listen to your boss. I mean, he writes your paychecks, right? Do you write paychecks, Cosmo? How does this work?
Yeah, actually, I needed to talk about that. I know we changed over HR departments when you killed Sigrid. She was kind of in charge of that, so we need to actually we got to talk about some of that stuff.
Right,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
there's a spirit. It lives in that forest in the north there. Go ask it for your checks.
No,
Okay, good. And good, Glenn, you smell awful. We need to get you back to Luther's and like wash
Right.
up. I can't hold you anymore like this. And I imagine there's like one of Glenn's hands is on Rangrim's shoulder, and it's like slowly leaking vomit like out of his sleeve.
oh God.
With my mage hand, I try to like wipe it off. I just kind of like smudge it in.
Right. We'll go over details and payment, and there's lots of gold to be had real soon. And Cosmo's like backing his way out. Just get started on the mine and go check out for that dark steel. Lots of gold to be had, and he's just leaving.
Sounds
Chess.
good. I'll just keep this this little piece of it as a little bonus.
Right, that's yours. Just don't tell anybody where you got it. And he's
Bye,
just
Chess.
Or-
Watch out for the
course not.
birds.
What the elf said.
He
Or don't look out for him. It could be threatening. Go do
he
whatever
just kind of
you
like
want.
he just kind of sits against the table and takes a swig of his stale ale as you all are kind of leaving out of the room. But yeah, so where are you all headed?
well, guys. I don't think I've visited me mom, and I talked to Chesk. I got drunk. I think that's it, right? We've done.
I think you wanted to maybe touch in with the refugees that had stayed in town, but you don't. That's not something you have to do.
Not to like do we know about the Daas Dog thing? I'm like really blanking.
I don't know whether or not Glenn told you or if he told you when you guys were at the Matic.
I felt bad.
Glenn would have told him at the Matic, explained the scenario with the shortage of meats and the needing to get some meats. And
Okay.
that's probably right around when he received the first punch bowl.
Okay. I honestly was like, I feel bad saying that all of a sudden. I was like, did I know that? Like, I'm really bad with that as a player. I'll be honest. Like, I struggle with that sometimes. But
It's more, it'd be like if I explicitly say I don't tell the group, it's a better way to look at it. Like,
right.
if I imply that it was shared, then it was for sure shared. But yeah, he would have told the story of the interaction, the super sketchy DOS interaction.
Okay. All right. Cool. So then I don't feel out of place. Be like, well, we could just stop by maybe the refugees' tents, right? That was something you was kind of part of there, Glenn, right?
Yeah, I just figured we might be able to maybe hire some hands, see if we can't get some help taking care of DOS's situation. Maybe offer some coin, try to get them back on their feet. What do you guys think?
I mean, yeah, they started selling Daas Dogs like crazy, right? Like, I mean, as a whole thing. This is going to be Dogtown soon. Forget the mine. We got to get to the bottom of these hot dogs.
Well, hiring these people out in the broad daylight, I don't know if that's a good idea. We'd have to wait.
It's true. It is actually, yeah. It is like midday right now.
Who doesn't like a random stranger to walk into their tent and offer them money for an undisclosed task while they're sleeping?
Right.
The elf has a point.
I mean, I feel like that's how we met.
That's pretty close, actually.
I don't remember how we met. I was drunk.
Exactly. Well,
Cosmo's got a good point too.
I need to drop this ore off, and I need to take a shower and wash my robe. And by then it'll probably be nighttime, and we can probably go approach the the
Be a
refuge.
long ass shower.
What is a shower?
I'd say I'd show you, but that'd probably be more disturbing than actually just explaining it to you.
I mean, I've seen weirder things.
List them, and I just start walking towards Pops.
Yeah. So, where are the Cosmo Rangrim? Where are you headed? Are you going to go with them, or are you going to go head somewhere else?
I'm still following Glenn, even though he's broken away from me. I'm still like behind him, just like, making sure he doesn't fall. Like,
Okay.
all right, yep, we're gonna go take your shower. Let's go. Come on, you big oaf.
Where are you going, Cosmo?
Right. Well, I'll just follow
You
along.
gonna go join the shower, group shower that's going on.
I thought we were going to Pops. We say
Yeah,
I'm headed to Pop. We're headed to Pops right now. Currently headed to Pops.
right. Oh, right. I was like, because I was about to say, where do you have a shower somewhere?
He's just gonna get into your guys' like, well, I guess you can't get in the hot tub because it's locked. Damn. Yeah. So you all make your way slowly and in Glenn's case, unsteadily over to Pops's front door, and the very familiar "hello" comes as you knock on the door.
Pops, it's me.
You sound terrible. I don't know if this is actually Glenn. You always sound more upbeat than this. I think someone's tricking me again.
Well,
Pops, I do not have the energy for this today.
Cosmo just puts his face in front of the door, assuming there's like a camera.
Like the close eye thing, like
The fish eye.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just listen. He's really drunk and he's thrown up all over himself, and he's got a gift for you. And he tries to persuade Pops to open the door.
Yeah, roll me a persuasion check. Persuading someone with vomit.
That seems about accurate. It's a 13.
Okay. Yeah, so he kind of looks at you skeptically. You just kind of, I guess you can't see into the room, but you kind of, there's a very noticeable pause, and then the door goes and opens, and you hear the familiar whirrings and whizzings of Crackle Pop's tinkering shop. And the familiar, like, warm air flows out, and then kind of like the incandescent, kind of like bright light of all the fires reflecting off of the brass covering the walls of this place. Oh my God, Glenn, you look really bad. Did you like take some sort of horrible poison, or like what happened? Did someone get you?
Yep, Tom, the bartender at the Manic, he got them for sure. Two of them.
Tom to make me a drink, and this happened.
I always thought he seemed kind of sketchy. What kind of foul poison did he get you with?
It's called a Tom's Bowel, I think. I don't fully remember all the details.
Oh God, that sounds
chunks
atrocious.
inside of it. It was pulpy.
Well, hold on. I might have something for you. And he goes over and he's starts pulling a bunch of like herbs out, and then he starts using that like brass tea making set that like pours the hot water and does all the mixing that's built into the wall. He uses kind of like some of those herbs and makes you some sort of like herbal tea in this like probably way too small little bronze or brass mug that's almost like a, I guess, espresso shot kind of thing, and hands it to you. Do you drink it?
I got to at this point. I'm drinking everything.
Yeah, so you take it down, and like the smell of it at first maybe gets you a little bit. You're like, yeah, just because it's so like earthy. And then you take it down, and like you can just feel like a spreading kind of warmth and comfort that kind of flows through you, and your stomach like pretty much like quickly quells any of its queasiness.
Glenn kind of like stands up and looks at himself as the form that he's in. He's like, oh, not again. Thank you, Pops. Well, let's consider this a trade then. You got me magical tea, and I've got something that I'm sure you want to see. And I pull out the dark metal rod, and I hand it over to him. So
Hey, that rhymed.
Found this in a mine with I can't even begin to describe what we actually saw, but similar to those books that I shared with you.
Yeah.
But this metal was the construction of the golem, the giant, but this was grown in the mines. And apparently Rangram was saying something about space rocks or who knows what.
Yeah, so he takes it from you and he's looking at it and he puts underneath, like, for one thing, he has his largely bespectacled and like enlarged eyes with his goggles, but he's kind of like puts it underneath those, and then he looks and he goes and like does like a multi-magnifying glass thing on his table and is looking at it and goes, yeah, this is I mean, this has actually been forged, but I know what you mean by if this raw ore is in that mine, like, you know, this hasn't been mixed with anything. This is pure dark steel. This is exactly, you know, what I expected when you showed me that mushroom. This is extra planar metal. This doesn't originate here in the prime material plane. This is I don't know where this comes from, but this is alien.
Well, I know you love tinkering with things you don't fully know right away and love to dive in, so consider this a gift, and I look forward to coming back and collecting whatever you make out of it.
Just to give me a little like inspiration, just what is one thing that you could, you know, that you feel like you're not good at that maybe you could be better at or could use some help with?
Well, I mean, honestly, I've really been struggling with kind of grasping some of the concepts tied to
Doing
a lot of the
damage.
research I've been doing. Pops, I'm actually just looking for maybe something that can, you know, bump up my intelligence, maybe help me understand what I'm reading, what I'm understanding a little bit more. Seem to have some
That's
means of
interesting.
intelligence.
That's really interesting. I mean, from my understanding of this material, it has odd magical properties, but it does have built-in magical potential. So it's going to take me a little bit of time to learn how to harness that and kind of bend it to the ways I need it to, because, you know, it's clearly a very strong metal, but it also, I need to understand its magical properties a little bit more and what the limitations are and how to kind of, you know, do some, hopefully we can do some pretty miraculous things with them. So yeah, I appreciate this, and it's going to be fun to try to solve that riddle, that quandary you just presented me.
If anybody can, it's you. Well, I'm going to take this slosh that's fallen out of my sleeves and take it out of your shore. Thank you. It was good seeing you as always, Pops. Heads out.
You see him bust out, like, as you're leaving and the door shutting, he like gets out a small broom and he, like, this little metal flap opens up on the bottom of the wall, and you can just see like a light and a furnace burning out of it, and he just kind of sweeping, like going yuck, and sweeping the vomit into the floor panel that seems to be incinerating it.
As Rangram is following Glenn out, but he's going to go over to Pops and just whisper to him, sometimes I get uncomfortable talking to people in groups or just people in general, and gives them another one of the pitons, and then follows Glenn out.
He's just like looking at you, like eyes even bigger than normal, magnified. Like there's no eye like outside of the eye at this point. It's just all white and then black eye.
But don't tell anyone.
No, of course not. Thank you. Cosmo, what are you doing?
Leaving. Walk. I was. And just. Oh, okay. Here's what I would offer. Pops, he really is bad at hitting stuff too. And he leaves.
Okay, so then you get the yuck as he's sweeping the stuff as you're leaving the room.
Right.
The door shuts behind you.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, so where are you all headed, especially since you can't really take a bath per se in your current house? I assume that Cosmo has some way of washing at his house, and maybe at the Iron Woman there's something as well.
Right. Yep. I think I have a bucket and a wash bin out back. If you need one, Glenn.
That sounds great. I wasn't really overly interested in RPing Glenn's shower scene, so I think we can just go ahead and assume that he showers without the rest of the guys. If that's something you guys want to do, we
I
can
mean,
go
okay,
ahead.
hey, listen.
I think
thi-
that's what the community wants.
I was
It's
gonna
true.
go ahead
I mean,
and just let that one
we all
slide
played
by.
Death
You guys are
Stranding,
really
right?
attached to it.
We all played Death Stranding. Like that was like a major pivotal thing about that game. Was
Apparently.
Norman Reedus' shower scenes.
I have no idea
no,
what
that-
game you're talking about.
That's totally fine. Hideo Kojima, never mind. You're not a elite gamer like us.
It's just a elite gamer, bruh.
Yeah. No. So anyway, you all throw buckets of water at Glenn. It magically cleans him, and he is now. I assume you have different changes of clothes, Glenn. So you're just wearing now dry robes. We do a montage, and you all are packed and ready to go on your trip. And Glenn is no longer covered in vomit.
Glenn would have made a stop to the general store at some point too during all that packing montage while his white and gold robes are hanging from the clothesline at Cosmo's mom's house. And he would go pick up a couple more health potions, two more regular health potions for what it's worth.
Okay, so yeah, that'll just be 100 gold. It's 50 gold each.
I just imagine that the montage is actually of Glenn wearing like different commoner or dwarven outfits, like coming out of Cosmo's mom's room. Rangrim and Cosmo sitting there just shaking their head going, until he puts on the right one and we all give him the thumbs up.
Dwarven Lederhosen is the one that he wears.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that's exactly what it is. I'm
Cool.
really looking forward to seeing that fan art. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Hey, y'all want to go on an adventure? What do you want to do?
I think we're due for a trip to Daas Dogs, but what do you guys think about potentially getting some of the refugees to come with us and see if we can't find anybody that might be a decent travel companion along the road and quite possibly just be able to carry whatever we have to go kill back.
Well, I thought we had 2 mules, and this handsome dwarf, motioning over to Rangrim, is a great company, but if you just feel like we're not enough, I guess we can try and find some more.
Well,
Wait, who else has 2 donkeys? And Rangrim's like looking behind him.
The sound of DOS in your head, that basically him saying that you probably only need 2 to 3, like maybe a cartful.
Well, I was just considering fodder in case they're aggressive, whatever we're about to go kill. But yeah, we could.
You're gonna sacrifice the refugees that you fought so hard to get out of the mine
For hot dogs.
I mean, that's a fair trade-off.
Hey, I'm sober now.
It's true. Mean Glenn's back. Oh God.
Love it.
I mean, what would you guys like to do?
I thought we was just gonna go kill a thing, do a deed, and But if
All
you
right,
feel like
we're going north.
Okay. So do you all want to go up? There are basically cut into the rock around the town. There are different exits that go up the sheer cliff that kind of Tin Town has been cut down into. So there are a couple different exits, but there's one that, there's a couple that go into the forest straight up to the top of it. Or you can go out the road and then kind of take the longer way around and go out. I guess you'll need to do that for the cart. So I guess you're going to have to take the road unless you want to drag these things back yourself.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah. So are you all just loading up and heading out?
Yep.
Okay. So you all, just get the cart loaded up, ready, head out of town. You would know that kind of the quickest way out is heading out towards Whitport. And then you can kind of turn into kind of just riding around the edge of the rim of the town. So like kind of where the rim market is, and then kind of heading up and around the edge, and then heading kind of into the forest, going north. And so as you're going into this forest, you're noticing one thing right off the bat, like there really is a lot of damage. Like there was clearly like deposits of ore. Deposits is definitely the word I was trying to find earlier, and I could not fucking get it out of my mouth. But deposits of ore that seem to have been like basically big boulders and of that have been kind of like, it was kind of similar to what led them to digging in Tin Town. It was the kind of like that similar like tin deposits that were really concentrated in Tin Town when they were exposed to the surface, and then they like dug down into that. So these are kind of like small other deposits that don't really go into a main vein like Tin Town's mine did.
Mhm.
And so you're kind of finding those, and then there's a lot of places that they kind of dug around those. And so there's a lot of disturbances to this as you're kind of going like off the edge of the pathways. But you're kind of taking this meandering road into the forest. And one thing that and I don't know how much, whether or not the three of you would have spent much time in this kind of like surrounding rim forest, or if it would have been something that you kind of just like maybe ventured into as you were younger, Cosmo. I don't really know.
Technically, Glenn lived in there when he didn't have a house to stay in.
Okay, cool.
That's
So
where he
Glenn,
would do his trading with Joro from there.
Okay, cool. And then Rangrim, would you have had much reason to be in there?
No, after Rangram settled in Tin Town, he spent most of his time at the Iron Woman
Okay,
and the Matic, obviously.
fair.
Mainly the Matic.
It was
Cosmo,
mostly
did
the
you
Matic.
Cosmo, did you play in there much as a kid or anything like that?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe went up
That
there,
sounds right. They just
made some
venturing
forts.
around as a young dwarf,
Of
playing
course,
sticks and
Playing-
swords and things,
playing
building
adventure.
in forts and throwing rocks at me friends. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So as you're kind of like heading in this forest, one thing that strikes you that's different than like some of the forests you've been in before is just like it's pretty like bright and airy, like, and it has like this just kind of like, especially like even at night, like it's not completely pitch black. It almost has this like it just feels inviting. Like there's a level of like, whereas like the some of the other forests you've been in have just like felt dark and foreboding and awful. Like this one feels nice. Like it doesn't feel bad to be in this forest. It doesn't feel ominous. So even in like, you said it's nighttime now, or is it like late afternoon?
It'd probably be closer to late afternoon. Wouldn't be super late.
Okay, so you all are kind of heading into this forest, and it's like this kind of the magic hour, the golden hour. Light is streaming through the trees, and like the trees are relatively sparsely spread. It's not a super old growth forest. But yeah, you're kind of traveling on this path. Make me so at this point you're kind of trying to, I guess, follow Daas's instructions, which were, to you, Glenn, were pretty vague. Basically, he said to look for trails, like smooth trails that would be, and then kind of follow those smooth trails to the bigger smooth trails.
They're like worn down, but not quite like paths that anybody carved out, right?
Yes, he used the term smooth. So yeah, if the three of you are looking for these, just make me some nature checks, the three of you.
Neat.
Have we ever rolled a nature check?
I think
hell
maybe
yeah.
once or
Gentleman's 20.
twice. Nice.
Dirty gentlemen's. Now we.
Because anything that's not nat 20 is a non-nat.
Non-nat. Right.
Dirty Gentleman's 7.
It
Gentlemen's
is
Club
a
7.
dwarven metal 13.
Nice.
Just
Yeah, so Glenn, you're having, really the only one who got the directions directly from Daas and kind of just absolutely not trusting them. You're kind of like, you're traveling on this path and something kind of catches your eye, and it's this like, in the sun, it almost looks like there's like this area of the forest to your right where like the grass is laid flat and it's almost, light is like reflecting off of it like a surface, almost like glass, and it's kind of this going off into the forest to your right.
Hold up, Rangram. We need to. I think this might be what we were looking for. Pull over the cart real quick. And Glenn's gonna hop off and kind of crouch down and with mage hand like 6 inches in front of him, but just like kind of scoop. I'm guessing there's like it looks like a fluid or something is like causing this like glassy sheen.
So yeah, so they it's about a foot in diameter, not diameter, across.
Okay.
Yeah, so the width of this trail is about a foot, and as you kind of stick the mage hand into it, you get a kind of sticky, clear residue that is kind of sticking to the mage hand and kind of peeling off of this smooth trail, and kind of like sticking to the mage hand as you kind of pull it away from it.
Can I like do an investigate, or I guess like another nature check to see if I like would even recognize what this might be?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, do me another nature check.
Besides gross. Oh wow. A gentleman's non-metal elven 21.
Okay. Yeah, so I will say that because you lived in these woods for a while, this is something that you absolutely recognize seeing, though you don't remember. You don't know if you ever like actually saw what made them, but you remember seeing these things like crisscrossing in different thicknesses to the paths, and you do remember that like the density of them does seem to be off to like. So I guess if you're looking north, this would be to the east. So like the northeasterly part of the woods is some area that you started seeing more of this in. And not wanting to upset anything, you just stayed away from that part of the woods.
Did that part of the woods still have like the same, like, I don't know, this forest seems like almost lighthearted compared to where we just were, like the Ebon Depths. Does it like continue to look that way towards the northeast from what I would recall?
Yeah, I'll say that it doesn't get, it's still like a pretty young growth forest. So like it might get a little bit denser as you get off the path a little bit, but it's not like, it's not going to be like the high wood as far as its ominous feel. There's actually almost like one thing you always liked about this forest is that it almost kind of like had a feeling of like not tangible, but just like almost like a fae or like magical quality in the air. Like it just feels almost like an unearthly, like ethereal, like beauty to it and like inviting feel.
Well, boys, I think this might be one of those suspicious trails that Daas was telling me about that I told you guys about. You think we follow it down this way, or I think we have to leave the cart here, though.
This and Rangrim just like scoops up some whatever this like yuck is, and is like,
Glenn starts walking away from him because he knows he's gonna like start flicking it away.
Rangrim, as you're kind of wafting it around, with can you make me a perception check with advantage for your scent?
I certainly can, sir. You're reading my mind. That is a gentleman's 18. Oh, sorry, perception check?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a 25.
Okay. And this is
Not
not
a
using
gentleman's,
like
though.
this is not using like your special ability with the constable sigil. Like this is just using like your heightened sense that you get for having that with you. It's not like the trail, but you get the unmistakable smell of Daas Dogs as you're like waving this thing around in front of your face.
Yes.
It's probably disheartening. It's like when you smell something and you're like, oh, that shouldn't smell like that. That's weird.
I don't know if I like this or not. I think we found it. It smells like Daas Dogs, Cosmo, and I'd like put my hand in Cosmo's face, like way too close. I probably kind of almost boop him just right on the front of the nose with like my
sticks to his nose and kind of
hand. Yeah.
You just hit the just under the top or just under the nose, right on the top lip,
just right on the top of his lip. There's probably a little stuck in his mustache.
God, gross.
As it trails away from his face,
like when someone sneezes and doesn't realize they have like snot in their mustache.
We are veering quickly into fetish territory, guys. We need to get
You
back
guys
on
are trying
course.
to watch Glenn shower, so you can't give me shit.
True. This episode we're gonna have to put behind a paywall because it is just getting
OnlyFans.
This is the OnlyFans episode.
This is our first OnlyFans episode, guys. I'm glad you're all here to enjoy it with us.
As Rangrim like hits me in the nose with this smell, he's just like, oh yeah, that definitely smells like those things that you all like to eat that you call hot dogs. I can generally handle lots of food, but that is one that is peculiarly hideous.
Well, let's go make more of them. And it starts walking down, like right next to the trail.
You better pay me lots of gold for killing this thing. Cosmo like walks down along the side of this gooey pathway,
God.
with his like war pick out.
Yeah, so you all kind of like are heading down this path, and just kind of, I assume, staying off, not walking directly on it.
Before we go, I suppose we kind of turning back at the cart of just, Rangrim, do you want to move the cart? Is it safe there? Do you want to just, I don't know, it's nearly dark. I reckon maybe we should do something with it.
Well, maybe we'll just pull it off the trail a little bit, and Rangrim's like precariously trying to light one of his cigarettes that he pulled from his beard with the ring of rituals, while also just still like just trying to flick this goo off his hand. I'm gonna smell like this for weeks. I never thought I'd hate it as much. I like the way these smell, but before the donkeys are fine. I'm assuming, does the trail where this like goop is going, would we be able to bring the cart down it, or is it more just like off the beaten path?
It's really just heading into the trees, kind of meandering in and out of trees. So like it while the trees are younger and kind of widely spread, you can see that like there's probably going to be a point that you're gonna end up with you could probably pull it off the pathway, like kind of pull it in between the trees, like maybe 10, 15 feet off into the woods to get it off the path. But eventually, just like trying to drive a cart through the regular forest, like you're gonna eventually come to an area where you can't get it through.
All right. Well, we'll put the donkeys in a cart off here, and we kind of pull them behind at least some sort of cover and unlash them from the cart and kind of tie them off to some tree so they have some room to eat some stuff and probably do some gross donkey stuff and lick that slime off the ground or whatever they want to do.
Okay, all right, yeah. I was gonna say you could bring them with you if you wanted to, because you could definitely pull your donkeys through the woods without the cart.
Well, with that being the case, Rangram had a stroke of genius and was like, well, how about this? And Rangram just hops on one of the donkeys.
Nice. Yeah. Who is anyone getting on? So which are you on, Cologne?
Yes, I would be on Cologne.
You have to pick one. Wow.
Glenn, are you getting on Champagan or Cosmo?
Well, Glenn, this seems like your kind of speed, yeah? As Cosmo just summons Steve.
Hi, Cosmo. I'm kidding.
Good to see you too, Steve. You're a little overzealous.
Do you actually want Steve to have a voice? Because I will make him have a voice if you'd like to.
If it's not Mr. Ed, then he has no voice.
Where the hell are we?
Well, I'm not quite sure where we is yet. We're gonna go follow this sticky trail, and we're gonna go find it. I don't.
Okay. I swear, you bring me to the worst places. Cool. So you all start I assume following Mr. Steve into the forest. So yeah, as you're heading down this path and kind of meandering in and out of the trees, with a good amount of light still coming through, kind of like golden light, make me some perception checks.
A perception check. Let me see here real quick.
Honestly, you know what? Because of we now have a glowing steed and two slow-moving donkeys, or a donkey and a mule. Glenn's gonna move to the tree line and go not in the like to the top of the trees, but like just move off the path, like among the trees.
Okay, so you're not up in them; you're just walking around.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well,
Okay.
no, stealthily. He's gonna be like, he's gonna let the loud horse riders draw all the attention of whatever the hell we're about to run into.
Okay, so I need a survival check from you, Glenn, and then a survival check with advantage from the people who are mounted.
Survival?
Mm-hmm. Just to see how you traverse these
Oh,
woods.
wow. Natural 18 on that.
Nice, yeah, you're able to move your way through there really well.
But a +0. Oh, and then on my stealth check, I rolled natural 19, so a 30 for my stealth check.
That's insane. But congratulations on
That
your
was
giant
neat.
rolls.
Yeah,
Right. Great job.
I rolled 10s for both of my rolls, so that's a +4, so it would be a 14.
That's still pretty good. I'll say you're able to lead both your donkeys through the woods without much problem.
Sorry, I had to step away for a second. What do you need from me?
Just a survival check with advantage.
Survival check with advantage. Naturally. Survival. It's a 17.
Okay. Yeah. So I with your spectral Steve Warhorse, you're able to like easily traverse this. He doesn't seem hindered by it, whereas like the donkeys like are trying to stay out of the way of the slime trail, and just you're able to make it through. So now I need. Did we already do the perception checks? We only did the survival.
We'll do it again. I don't know.
Perception checks for the three of you.
Oh my gosh. I rolled another natural 18. 24.
Nice.
18, 19, 18. It's about to be so bad.
It's
when
going
it
to break
matters.
so bad. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Rangram's not actively trying to perceive anything. My
Just
passive
enjoying.
perception is 17.
Okay, good. That's fine.
Glenn is actively trying to hunt this thing down, whatever's making this trail.
11.
Okay. Glenn, you're walking through the woods and you're kind of like walking around this tree and just kind of like going from tree to tree, very stealthily, keeping out of the way of, sight, I guess, general sight from things. And you kind of put your hand on the tree and you feel your hand stick to it, and kind of like you pull your hand away and you have that kind of trail coming off your hand. And you look up and you see that there is kind of like high up on the side of the tree, you see like this weird, almost seems like some sort of growth on the side of the tree that is like this purple and green striated, like almost like a marbling. It's just like this lump that's kind of stuck to the side of the tree, kind of, and like just kind of hanging from one of the branches higher up. Rangrim, you're kind of just like traveling along this path, really not paying attention, just maybe enjoying your time back with your donkeys. You haven't had, I mean, I guess you travel with them, but like getting to like actually, hang out with them in the woods is kind of a fun thing. So you're like looking, you're just kind of like looking out and like looking in the distance. You're like, oh, that's odd. And you're seeing that there are just these kind of like mounds that are kind of just like off the trail, like almost like smooth boulders that just seem to be kind of like in the distance a little bit, kind of breaking the monotony of like the grassy, leaf strewn floor of this forest as you're kind of going forward with it. And they're probably like 100 feet in the distance, but you're seeing that like there are these like smooth stones of varying sizes that are like these smooth mounds of varying sizes that are like this kind of reflecting the light a little bit.
Cosmo, you said you used to like carve your girlfriend's names in the trees and stuff here. Was this stuff always here with the goop and these shiny things here?
I don't know. I don't really remember much.
Roll me a history check.
Right, yeah. I kind of have to think about that. I'm not really sure. Yeah, he doesn't remember anything.
Forget who
You
he
always
is.
just roll dumps for history checks.
I mean, it's a gentleman's 8, but
Well, guys, I think this, and literally you're just hearing a voice coming from the trees because I rolled a 30 on my stealth check. Guys, I think this might be what we're after. Those lumps. There's one right above me, and it doesn't seem to be moving, but it definitely matched the description that Daas gave us.
there's a lump.
And like I cast Mage Hand, and I float it right in front of Cosmo's face and like guide it up to the thing to like very obviously like over here.
Cosmo, you see this like seemingly this growth on the bottom of this branch that's maybe like a foot long, and maybe like think like big loaf of bread size, and it's just kind of like smooth, like a smooth thing just stuck to the bottom of the branch. And as the light from the mage hand gets closer to it, you can see it kind of reflecting this like purple and green coloration that's kind of like striated inside of it.
Right, well, that just feels like the mini version of whatever's making these trails down here. I mean, I suppose you could try and cut it open and see what's in there.
Well, I think he said leave the small ones so they can grow and avoid the biggest ones so you can make more. So I think you're right. I think we need to keep looking for something a little bit bigger, but we can test with this one first. But if this thing's alive and lets out a noise, we might have a lot of these in our face really quickly.
Well, I mean, I don't even know if I know what a medium one is if I don't know what the little one is, so stab it real good.
Yeah, is this a big one? What if it's smaller? Maybe this is the medium one.
He did say that the ones you're looking for are basically like I guess cattle sized, like big barrel size.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that, but I mean, I wasn't there. I don't. So you know.
So fair. You're just not metagaming. It's true.
Right.
Well, sure. I can. I'll take this one, bring this one down for you guys, and you can take a look.
Right. I'll pick a side and smash its head.
Yeah, just gonna. What if it doesn't have a head though? You won't even have like a thing to target.
We just, fine.
It's really high up in the tree, just so you know, Cosmo.
Oh no, he said he was gonna bring it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna climb up.
Cosmo doesn't climb trees.
Tree, because that tree's covered like in slime, right? So
yeah, it's got slime trail going up it.
So I'm gonna climb an adjacent tree.
Okay. I'll say that there's one that's since they're pretty widespread, I'll say that there's one that's maybe like you're still about like 5 to 6 feet away from it, on the branch that you're able to get onto.
Right. Okay. Do we just see the one? Is it just the one around?
The one in the tree is the only one that Glenn has seen. But there are Rangrim saw like a bunch of little like hillocks kind of going off along the like up ahead of you, like maybe 100 feet out in varying sizes. These like smooth mounds.
Right. Well, I guess I don't know. Whatever you think, Glenn. You're the one with Daas's orders.
So again, like a shadow, they don't even know where I am, minus the mage hand directions that I've been giving. I climb up that first tree and I try to jump to the branch that it's on. I try to clear the gap to the tree that it's on.
Yeah, just roll me an acrobatics check with advantage.
Wow. Thank you for advantage. Gentleman's 20.
Yeah, so you're able to easily jump to the next branch. Now you are standing above it. It's a thick enough branch that it didn't really like bend too much underneath your weight. So like it's probably like a good 8-inch diameter branch that you're on.
And I'm going to pull out my double-bladed scimitar and like try to like oyster shuck it from the tree. Like try to like pry it off and just launch it right in front of Cosmo.
Okay, do you want to roll an attack or do you want to do a sleight of hand to kind of flick it off?
No, I wouldn't really be attacking. I would be trying to do it like tactfully because I don't know what this thing is. I wouldn't be like...
do a sleight of hand then to try to do it without injuring it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like destroy this thing. That is a 21 total.
Okay, so you pry your rapier in underneath, or your scimitar in underneath this thing, getting the flat edge between like, getting mostly bark, and so you don't actually get the thing. And you kind of like leverage it against there, and you kind of, with this like sickly sucking noise, you pry this thing loose from the tree. And as you do, it kind of lifts out this like slight squeal and then rolls into a basically like a ball, and then just goes plummeting at the ground and hits it, and basically like a dodgeball hitting the ground. It kind of just like bounces probably like 15 feet in like a 45-degree direction from after hitting the ground, and kind of goes rolling across the ground maybe like 30 feet away.
Towards me,
Sure, yeah, it kind of rolls at your feet, Cosmo.
Okay, I think he was aiming for me, so I didn't know.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
And it's literally just, it almost looks like a marble now of like, think about like literally a small, almost like a volleyball size of this purple and green, just like completely curled.
As it kind of comes towards me, Cosmo would take his war pick and just kind of move it, and then just to kind of roll it to see what he can kind of see, and he would cast his divine sense to see if it's good or evil, or if it's any kind of like a celestial or fiend or anything funny business about it.
Okay, I'll just give you this. You don't get any kind of like magical properties off this creature.
Right.
You basically and no like a good or evil. It is a neutral creature.
Cool. All right.
So you're just rolling it across the ground. It's just like staying.
Not necessarily rolling. It's just kind of tilting, just kind of like to get like a full picture of whatever this.
Okay.
Cocoon.
It's just a ball. Yeah, it's like this rolled up creature. Think of like a roly poly.
I kind of had cocoon in my head, but now I got you, roly poly. What do you make of this, Raingrim? Do we just, I don't know, do we kill it?
I'm not even too sure what it is.
Neither do I, and I don't know what, oh, gosh. Glenn, what did you get us into?
Yeah, Glenn, what is this? And I'm going to throw it back up into the tree to Glenn.
You would have no idea where I was. You throw it back into the air.
I just know the general direction it fell.
Ranger, make a ranged attack with disadvantage.
Oh, amazing.
That's your
God,
number one skill.
Fucking great.
I'm so good at those with my 0 to dexterity. Ooh. Oh, shit. Never mind. 9.
Oh,
Glenn,
natural 20.
you see this thing go soaring through the air, pretty close to you, or not really close to you. I'll say probably like 20 feet, surprisingly close for how hidden you are. And you see this thing like kind of open up and slap against the tree, and as it does, it just lets out this like pitch, like this ear-piercing shriek, as it kind of falls flatly backwards again off the tree. And as you hear that shriek echo through the forest, you hear a much deeper and more guttural like roar echo through the forest, echoed by a bunch of different pitched screams of this in kind of varying through like high pitched to low pitch, and you hear these yells just echo through the forest, echoing off the trees, and that's where we're gonna end the episode tonight.
Oh man,
That's the one thing you didn't want to happen.
Well, in Rangrim's defense, he was trying to help.
Rangrim's doing his best.